Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Welcome back to the show, where we interview the nation's leading real estate entrepreneurs. I've got a special treat for you guys here in the studio. I got Shalom with us, which he's probably going to correct me if I'm not wrong, but I'm pretty sure that means peace or something along those lines. But we're going to be talking about some real estate today, as we generally do. And as we go into that, Shalom has been flipping his own properties himself, but he is also a private money lender and a real estate investor who actually partners with his borrowers from start to finish. So we're going to get rocking and rolling, but just remember, before we do it, Investor Fuel, we help real estate investors, service providers, and real estate entrepreneurs 2 to 5x their businesses, which allows them to build the businesses they've always wanted, to allow them to live the lives they've always dreamed of. With that being said, Shalom, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Stephen. You absolutely nailed it. It means peace and it means hello. Actually, my grandfather, my name came from my grandfather, who was also in construction back in the Soviet Union. So real estate just runs in the blood.
Really? That's super interesting. Are you are you first generation here in America, or?
I'm first generation here. My dad immigrated to the USA in '93. My mom immigrated here in '96. They both came from Azerbaijan, from Baku. And they built a little nest egg for us here. And I always say my parents became millionaires, but if they stop working tomorrow, they don't see their millions. My job is to be able to not work tomorrow and still see those millions and preserve those millions. So on that journey here.
Love that, man. So let me ask you this, because you're first gen, and being raised in an immigrant household always has some very deep values, from what I find. At least most people are raised with. What was it like growing up to then set you on the trajectory for what you just said there, of being able to actually grow that wealth for your, future generations?
Absolutely, yeah. I feel like my dad is an exception to this, but I know a lot of immigrants, a lot of first generation. But our parents, when they come here, they're very afraid of because they don't know the language. They don't have a job here. My dad came here with $100 in his pocket, and he knew the words boy and girl. That's it. He didn't know anything else. He couldn't even say hello. He just came here, and he grinded his way into dentistry, which is what he does. But he's very, very conservative. A lot of people are when they come to this country. They hate debt. They hate taking on risks. They hate open businesses. Right. They want something safe because they have went through a lot of trauma and a lot of PTSD from their past lives. And when they're coming to America, they want everything to be stable and steady and no risks. My dad taught me that if you want anything good in life, you have to take risks. You have to make difficult decisions. And he's done that a few times. He's lost a few times. He's won a couple times. And it really set me on the path that in life, you got to take risks. And investing in real estate was a calculated risk, but still nonetheless a risk.
Yeah, man, I love what you said there. And, I think you're 100% right that it goes down to ultimately like trauma that people go through wherever they're at. And it's almost like when you get into a better situation, or a better place, like just not being in the darkness or whatever that looked like. Not everybody's moving out of like a war-stricken area per se.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
But when you're out of it, it's interesting to see how people raised here in America have this "I've got all the time in the world" mentality. Just work a little bit here and there, and ultimately they end up wondering at 40 years old, like, how did I get here? Like, I don't even like the life
Absolutely.
that I'm living. You know what I mean? So it's really interesting. I got a lot of respect for that. So let me ask you this: how'd you get into the real estate biz, man?
So I went to Baruch College, undecided my major, straight from high school. It's here in New York City, and I'm like, you know what? I'll save some money. I stayed home. Fun fact, I got an undergraduate degree for $36,000 with no aid or any debt. So
Wow.
that was my first steal. But I tried a bunch of different things, really kept my mind open. I knew I wanted to do something in business, didn't know what it was exactly. I was a political science major to start, just to have something on there. And so I did an internship with this company called Project Destin. They're a diversity, equity, and inclusion company, but they took a shot on me and brought me into that program. And I learned a lot about the fundamentals of investing in real estate. What is gross rent? What is net rent? What is vacancy? How does financing work? And then from there, I started interning at a lot of institutional companies because real estate is a career. You could be a real estate analyst and a developer and asset manager, a property manager. There's so many things to do within real estate. And so from there, I've interned at various different institutional companies. If you go on my LinkedIn, I'm going to tag it at the very end. You can see all the companies that I've worked at, but some to note are Brixmor, Mac Real Estate Group, and Uniball Rodamco Westfield, all private equity firms and REITs. And when I graduated school, my dad got really, really sick. So I had to find a way to provide money for my family. And I couldn't find a job in New York. I had to stay in New York to help take care of my dad, and I couldn't find a job here. And that's when I did a lot of networking. Whenever somebody gives you an opportunity to learn about something, I'm like, I'll take them up on it. Maybe I might invest, I might not. I could be wasting their time. But I took up this one woman, Grace Gudenkoff. She said, hey, I'm raising money for this deal. Do you want to hear about it? I'm like, okay, sure, I'll listen to you. And it was a perfect opportunity where I could do a private money loan for her on her primary residence. And I was able to get a return similar to rental property without the commitment. So instead of a 30-year investment horizon, it was a 6-month investment horizon, which was perfect for me at the time. And since then, I started diving into private money lending. And that's my history since.
No kidding, man. Now, so how did an Envy Investment Group come to be, and what makes your approach different from traditional lenders?
Yeah, so we are on our rental side, we are really focused on ethical business. We are not slumlords. We provide you a good place to live. If things need to get fixed, we fix them quick. And we treat our tenants like the people they deserve to be treated. Unfortunately, a lot of these markets, people just don't take care of these properties, and people are living in horrible conditions and they're just increasing rent. On the lender side, we choose to be each and every one of our borrowers' partners. We major here in New Jersey. That's our main kind of forte. I know a lot of the contractors here. I'm right now. I'm in Long Branch, New Jersey, in my dad's office, sitting here and doing this podcast. But we lend all across the nation. But we make sure to take care of our borrowers. If they have a problem on their investment horizon, like for example, we had one deal where there was a septic and a cesspool, and we couldn't get past that. We were able to help them figure out that there is water to the street. Let me call the township for you. Let me help you figure these problems out. My main goal is to make sure that my borrowers are well taken care of and that they have their partner. I'm investing your deal with my money as a debt partner, and it's important that you succeed for me to succeed, because I want you to come back and borrow from me again 10 times over, so that we can both grow our wealth. And that's the mission of M Investment Group.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Now, how has your lending criteria evolved over the last 12 to 18 months? I know there's been a lot of changes, new administration, a bunch of different stuff going on in the last 18 months. It's been a circus, but like what's kind of changed, or how have things evolved in the last 2 years, let's say, maybe even?
Yeah, I mean, I only started the company in 2023, my very first investment. So it's only been 2 years, but recently we've been a lot more stringent on the scope of works that we ask for, and pricing on materials. We asked our borrowers to try to itemize everything as much as they can, labor, materials, for different things. And then we compare it to different projects that we've done, because we also have rentals. We also have flips that we do. And if it's in a similar market, we kind of expect the prices to be kind of the same. But it's great because if a deal doesn't pencil on our side, we might not lend as much. But we'll also tell our borrower, listen, I'd be careful if I was you going into this deal, because it might not make the profit that you want, right? We're all seeking some kind of return for our investment, a proportion to the risk. And so some investors, when they're coming out in the beginning, they may not know some of the hidden costs of permitting, or inspections. Like right now we're going through a lead inspection, HVAC inspection, then we have to get the CO. It's taking an extra 2 weeks, right? So they may not know these hidden costs of holding costs and not calculate taxes, and a deal might fall out of contract for one reason or another. And we try to make sure that our borrowers are well set up, especially in their first, second, third deal, so they continue to invest in real estate and not get discouraged.
Yeah, that's great, man. So now you offer DSCR, hard money, small commercial. I mean, you do a lot. So can you just break down like how you decide which product fits the best? Is it case by case, or what does that look like?
Yeah, so first would be hard money. Hard money is basically your fix and flip loan. On our hard money loans, we lend up to 90% of purchase and up to 100% of construction. We want our borrowers to have some kind of equity in the play and put their money in, so that we know that they're serious as well. But it all really depends on the deal. Some deals we only lend 70% of purchase and 80% of construction. It all really depends where the ARV is, what's the purchase price, and how extensive the work is. Moving on, we have private money. Private money has a little bit less guidelines than hard money, and those are where we can do debt and equity partnerships with our borrowers, repeat borrowers. We only offer that to our repeat borrowers. Moving on, DSCR, like long-term 30-year mortgages. We don't look at your W-2. We don't look at your pay stubs, your income at all. We look at the property's income, and we look at your credit worthiness, right? Are you responsible? Do you have any late payments on your credit? How many credit lines do you have opened? Maybe if there's a cash flow problem, can you go into, and do you have a credit line available they can dip into and then repay that back in 30 or 60 or 90 days? And that's what we use the credit for. But everything else, we look at the property to make sure that the property pencils, right? And if it doesn't pass our criteria, likely you're not going to cash flow on that property. Now, some people do invest for appreciation. That's a whole different ballgame. But those are mainly the deals, the kind of loans we offer. The small commercial side is a little bit less built out. Right now, I'm working on a 12-unit loan in Chicago, and I didn't have a lender that would lend in Chicago. So I'm just a one-man show. I'm a small lender, so I will call each and every single bank until I find the best terms for my client, because I'm on your side. I'm fighting for you. And so I called 30 or 40 banks, but I found one that was able to set up the financing for this purchase. And actually, it's an interesting deal. We're going to get a 6.5% interest rate on a 25-year amortized loan for a 12-unit building, which is unheard of in this market.
Yeah, that's insane. So speaking about like the deals, what's a red flag that immediately makes you pass on a deal?
If someone is a first-time home buyer or flipper, or they're buying their first rental property, and they're asking me for 100% financing, that raises a red flag.
Why
If you're
is that?
getting into this business,
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
I want you to put something into it, right? If you don't believe in yourself to put 5, 10, 15, $20,000 into it, or if you don't have the discipline to go and save that money in order to start investing in this business, how does it look like to me as a lender? I want to know that you are committed, right? Because I'm putting up a lot of money, hundreds of thousands of dollars in some cases, in order to make this deal happen. But I want to see that there is ownership on your side as well. And so across the board, we've originated somewhere near $4 million right now. Every single time a borrower has 100% financing, they're less inclined to do the work because they have less to lose. They don't have their money in the deal versus someone who has even $5,000 invested. They know that their money's on the line, so they're working harder on those deals. Another red flag I see often is communication and organization. When you're working with your lender, I want you to be organized. If I send you a list of documents I need, send me like Google Drive folder, like with the pictures and the purchase agreement and the listing agreement and your LLC docs and the property expenses and the insurance quote. I want it to be organized, right? Because if you're messy sending me documents, I can only imagine how unorganized you are on the construction site when you're doing renovations or when you're managing rental payments and stuff isn't being recorded. So those are the main two we see across most of our borrowers.
Yeah. Now, what's the most
Potential
creative deal?
borrowers, I'd say. Not
Right,
borrowers,
right.
potential borrowers.
What's the most creative deal structure you've ever helped fund?
So we've done a debt and equity partnership with one of our clients here in Pemberton, New Jersey. This deal came to us in end of November, right around Thanksgiving. So Monday I log into my computer, and my client, he's like, we need to fund this deal in 10 days. We got to make it happen one way or another. I'm willing to see what you have to offer. We had that property at a pretty good deal. So we were able to do a debt and equity partnership where we provided 100% of the financing. We got a 3% origination fee on that. And then we took 25% equity in the property. So we modeled out that the property would sell in 4 months after all construction, permits, sitting in the market, and closing. And it was a successful deal for us. But that borrower proved that he has the ability to perform on a deal like that because he did, I think, 3 or 4 flips with us beforehand, and we've seen his work before. So it gave us the confidence investing with him on 100% financing on a debt and equity partnership.
That's cool. What are your favorite deals? What are you like real bullish on?
My favorite deals, I've been underwriting a few of these. I haven't actually originated alone, but my favorite deals are built to rent because these are ground up construction. You're building a portfolio for yourself, which is these are brand new properties. They'll have zero maintenance or repairs, right? And the newest and cleanest properties are attracting the best tenants. So it kind of hits every single criteria. You're getting the best tenant, you're having the least repairs, and you're building a lot of value in there. So build to rent intrigues me a lot. I've looked at a few build to rent properties myself, and for other borrowers, nothing is penciled out yet. With the current interest rate market, as you know, it's a little bit tough, but we're still working with those borrowers every day to underwrite properties and make sure we find something that fits all our buy boxes.
Now, how do you underwrite deals differently as both a lender and an investor?
Yeah, and that's what makes us unique because we see the pain points from each side. From the investor side, we see why you would want to leverage so much. From the lender side, we see why we want to be so conservative. And so we underwrite properties, we pull comps just like everybody else would. We reach out to local brokers to get their opinions on future values, on current values. We try to get as much color from the market in terms of operating expenses and contractors to make sure that you are in line, that someone is not selling you a dream and saying, "Hey, the renovation is going to cost 20,000," but in reality, you got to change. You have foundation work, you got to change the floors, the kitchen, you got to paint, you got to change the roof. We're already talking past $20,000. And so making sure that our investors understand what they're getting into, and communicating that picture. For us, it's easy to just close a deal and move on to the next one. But we want to take care of our clients because, like I said, we thrive on repeat business. So if you are successful with us one time, twice, three times, you're almost guaranteed to come back to us.
Right. Now, are you seeing more borrowers shift from rentals to flips due to market conditions, vice versa? What are you seeing right now?
Yeah, right now we're seeing a lot of people do flips. They want to build up their capital in order to do a rental. So if I have this one client who does flips and rentals. Before he would do them 50-50. Now he would do like every three flips, he would do one rental. And he flips in one market here in Jersey. He buys rentals in Philly, and he has about 30 doors there. But it's really helped him kind of balance out the portfolio. So I'd say there's always a happy balance. Right now it's more flipping to build up that capital. And in Jersey, we have a really healthy market here. As you may have heard, Netflix is building their new studio and is becoming the Hollywood of the East Coast.
Which is
Let me say so
wild.
myself.
A wild place to do it. Like, of all places, New Jersey, right?
I mean, you got New York City, you got Philly, right? You got the mountains, you got the shore. So you can get a lot of different scenery here. But prices here have been growing. But places like Florida, right? You go to Miami, things there have been softening a lot. But even in Orlando, things have been going through the roof. Like I was just listening to a builders podcast, and Orlando has a record number of new builds coming into the market because there's less weather effects there, no hurricanes, and cheaper insurance. So people are going from Tampa, from Sarasota, from Miami, from Boca, and they're all settling in Orlando.
Right, which then clogs it up even more. But
yeah,
I'm a little jaded. I lived an hour from Orlando until the last year and a half from now. Man, I'm telling you what, anytime I'd have to drive through there was a freaking nightmare. But it's also, one of the top visited places in the state too. So, but living there was fun.
Not even in Orlando. I think it's like
an
hour out, right?
Yeah, so it's outside Orlando.
People think Orlando, think Disney, but it's not even in Orlando. It is a good job. It is a good job job target for the residents that do live there. So
yeah, 100%, man. So this is good stuff. This is really good stuff. So you also, though, have properties not in Jersey, right? I know you mentioned your guy there with, different types of deals that he was doing and whatnot, but you actually are doing a little bit of all of it, and you have rentals that aren't even 500 miles close to you. So, like, how did that come to be? And how did you get over the fear of investing out of state?
Yeah, so I had one of my borrowers, actually that same guy with a debt and equity partnership with. He's like, Shalom, you got to buy rentals. And I'm like, you're right. I got to buy rentals. I got to have some money coming in. Sometimes loans are doing good. They're not. Sometimes they're not doing so hot. And so I got to have some money coming in when things aren't stable enough. And so I'm looking for markets, right? And I stumbled across Milwaukee. Milwaukee is a very interesting market, and I really believe in it because the real estate there is so cheap it doesn't make sense to build new. So you don't have new supply coming on market. The rents there are high, and the laws there are very landlord friendly, and that's the main thing that attracted me there. Right now, I live in New York City, in Brooklyn, and over here, if you have an eviction, it may take you 2 years, and you got to pay almost like $60,000-$70,000 in attorney's fees to get someone out. Versus in Milwaukee, it's 30 days. If they don't pay, you're in the court for 30 days, and in 60 days, you have a tenant out of your property.
Right.
Now, when our new president came into office, he enacted a lot of these new tariffs where he wants things to be produced in America. And it got me thinking, where can companies produce things and build their factories and still keep prices down? It's going to be the middle of America where land is cheap and labor is cheap, and there is some skilled labor. And so Milwaukee checks all these boxes. There's no new supply coming.
Right.
They are in need of quality housing because a lot of the housing there is in disrepair and distressed.
Because it's
They
old.
have a lot of skilled labor and cheap land outside there, so companies are coming in and they're going to be building factories. For example, Honda is moving their Civic plant from Mexico to Indiana, and they produce 400,000 cars a year just from that one plant.
Right.
So companies are moving to the Midwest, and so should maybe double down on that metro. We've helped several clients come through us because I built a team down there with a broker and a property manager and myself as a lender. If someone wants to go buy in Milwaukee, we set them up with all these systems to make sure they're all good, and provide them support throughout the lifetime of the investment to make sure that their property is taken care of and they're providing good housing, and they don't have any vacancy.
100%, man. That's a smart strategy. Where'd you learn all this? College?
I use my common sense. A lot of this isn't even taught in school. I did say I majored in real estate finance, but they teach you the finance behind these large 100-floor skyscrapers in Manhattan. They don't teach you the finances behind the duplex in Milwaukee and the single family in New Jersey. My approach is, I started thinking, how can I take the efficiencies of how big companies operate with the business model of mom and pop landlords, make the two come together, and you have an efficient business where the tenant is happier because they have a great place to live. The investor is happy because it's a seamless transaction for them, and all the support around that, the property management, the lending, and transaction specialists like the agent or the broker are also succeeding because everything is getting done quicker and in volume.
Yeah. If you could automate one part of the lending process like tomorrow, what would it be?
With AI, I think underwriting could be done a lot more efficiently. Right now, it's a lot of my touch, my gut check, my feeling. I just know some pockets of Jersey really well, so I know that something is more expensive in one or another. Jersey is very decentralized, so it's like township by township, things are very, very different. But if someone puts that into some kind of model and gives it to AI like ChatGPT, and you could say, hey, this is my finances, this is my insurance, this is my LLC, like underwrite this property for me and give me a package. I think it could. It's something that's the future. I am not afraid of AI. I try to use AI in the business. It's scary how much it could do, because one day it could replace us. It could replace you on the podcast here. It could replace me as the speaker here, and in my business. But I think that we all still need that human touch to make it, to get everything across the finish line.
I agree with you on that. I think from my perspective, my personal belief is AI is phenomenal and it should be utilized very, very well. And the people that learn how to use it the best, that still have the ability to be authentic, like that's who's really going to like win in the next 10, 15 years. Cause like, it's like anything. Industries have been replacing themselves for literally thousands of years, right? Like there used to be a guy that walked down the street with a torch lighting up street lights. You know what I mean? So it's like, and then electricity comes along, puts him out of a job, and it's like, well, not necessarily. It just creates a different job environment where you have to learn new skills and adapt, right? But yeah, I love what you said there. That's really good. So let me do this with you here. I haven't done this in a while, and I have this little thing I do sometimes, which is a speed round of questions. So it's just rapid fire questions. You give me the fastest answer possible, and we roll through it. And then the last question is more of a thinker, but it's real fun. You want to play? I need like some game show music.
Let's do it. I'll do my best.
All right, there we go. All right, flip or rental?
Flip.
Most underrated financing tool?
Private money.
Deal you'll never forget?
My first rental.
Nice. One thing you wish every borrower knew.
You have to pay to play.
And last but not least, what's next for NB Investment Group in the next 12 to 18 months?
That is a really good question. And that's a thinker. So
Yeah.
next, we want to take on development. We are growing in the financing space, and that business it's still in its infancies, but we're constantly putting out new products and talking to new borrowers and creating the meeting of the minds there. We have our rentals, but next for NV itself is development and flips. I think that there is a lot of underdeveloped or not efficient space, especially here in the Philly and New York metro areas, that could be that need to be really efficient in order to fill the needs of a lot of these markets. So next development, it's really hard to make it pencil. Like I said before, build to rent is one of these things that really intrigues me. But constantly looking at new ways to do that. Whether it's finding materials or finding new ways to bring down hard costs, even with lumber going through the roof. But there's a lot of aspects to that. And that's one thing that AI can't replace. AI can't replace the human mind that thinks of how to overcome these different problems, because I know a guy who would give me flooring for 99 cents a foot. AI doesn't really know that guy. AI knows that Home Depot sells it for $2 a foot, right?
Right.
And stuff like that. I think is what's next for NB development.
Love it, man. Well, if people want to learn more about you or what you're working on, where should they go for that?
Yes, you can follow me on Instagram, photographer with an F, or my company, NV Investment Group. It's GRP, NV Investment GRP. If you want to reach out to me, you can email me, nvinvestmentgrp@gmail.com, or you can go to my website, nvinvestmentgrp.com.
Fantastic. You said it's photography with an F? What?
Photographer with an F. When I was in high school, I liked photography as a hobby, and so I created that account, and I love the username, so I'm never going to give it up.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet, man. I can't believe that was actually available. I'm dropping you a follow on that one right now. Just kidding.
Yeah.
I can't find you. I'll figure it out later. But anyways,
And I urge the audience to, one thing I want you guys to take away from this is, when you're approaching investing in real estate, you have to have the right mindset. Mindset is one thing that I've seen a lot of borrowers that they're missing, because they get, if one small thing comes across the road, like a speed bump or something, they'll be like, this whole deal's in the tank. I'll screw it, whatever. I'll lose money on this one. I'll try to find the next one. Or they walk away from a deal just because it gets a little bit too hard on the underwriting side. So you have to have the right mindset. Try to make a deal work if you can. Especially if you're already in it, try to find the best opportunities. Don't let something just bring you down over one hiccup or another, because nothing good comes easy. I always say in my life, nothing good comes easy, and you really got to put in the time in order to figure out these problems. So mindset is number one for all you guys out there who are eager to get started in the space.
100%. That's great advice, man. Alrighty, y'all. Well, thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the show. We'll see you in the next episode. Shalom. Thanks for being here, brother.
Thank you, Stephen.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.